Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Empower Biz Live. So today is our first episode. And we have a special guest. Her name is Isabel. She's originally from Mexico, but she lives in North Carolina. So she will be joining us in a few minutes. So first, I'm going to start with introducing each one of us. So I'll start with myself. So my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama. I live in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I work in the movie industry, and I'm a digital business owner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Drusha Zartika. I'm originally from the Philippines, currently living in Canada, Ontario, Canada, and I've been working in the education field as a teacher, and I'm a digital business owner as well.
Thank you, Yosha. Okay, so let's bring our guest to the studio. Hi, Isabel. Thank you for coming.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. My name is Isabel Vargas. I'm originally from Mexico. I live in North Carolina, United States. I'm married. I have three children, and I have a grandson now. And I work for the school system as a teacher assistant, and I also own the digital business.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's start with the first question.
So, our first question is
That's okay. You can say it.
sorry about that.
No worries.
I was put on the spotlight. So, um, my bad. What inspired you to start your online business?
Yeah, sure. I started this business because I wanted to prioritize time with my family and with my aging parents. I've been working since I was 14, so I grew tired of the traditional job lifestyle. And I was looking for an opportunity where I could do more, where I could balance my work life balance a little bit better so I could have quality time with my kids and where I didn't have to ask for time off to travel. It was very impossible. I used to work in retail, and it was very hard to get time off during the holidays. So I wanted to have that time with my kids. You know, everybody wants to be with their family during the holidays, and I couldn't do that. So that's why I was looking for something where I could spend time with my kids and travel for the time that I wanted. I didn't want anybody telling me, okay, well, you have 2 weeks off and you have to come back. I didn't want that. I wanted to go for the length of time I wanted and enjoy it without worrying about what if I don't make it back in time.
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to you, like in terms, like spending time with the family. And I have aging parents, and before joining the business, I used to work in retail. And then my brother was living here at the time, and I can just give you an example. Like my niece was having her birthday, and I was working in retail, so I couldn't be there, from the beginning because like I had to close the store. So they had dinner, and they were just waiting for me, until I came to eat something, and then to sing the happy birthday. But yeah, it's not really, like like you say, your schedule is depending, like on the store that you work or the job that you work. Like you don't have that flexibility that you
Mhm.
can do it, like anytime. So that's why I love this business, because it will give you the flexibility to be spending time with your family whenever you want.
Yes, yes, yes. And holidays, usually people think of holidays and think of family. They go like together. But when you work in retail, as everybody knows, everybody's out shopping. So you have to make sure that you have, your storage stocked, that you have everything that you need in case the customers come. So we don't get the time off during the holidays when you work for retail because that's the time that they need you the most. So it's
Yes.
very difficult to take time, and that's why I decided that that wasn't for me anymore, and I moved to the school system instead, so that my schedule and my son's schedule will be somewhat similar.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's start with the second question.
With our second question, did you have any doubts or skepticism before embarking on this venture? And a follow up to that would be, what would you say to those who may feel the same?
Well, I think we all feel a little bit skeptical at the beginning, when we see the ad, just because we're not used to, I guess, this kind of lifestyle. And because there are so many scammers online too. So, yeah, I had my doubts at the beginning, but I did my research, and I reached out, I asked questions, and I joined. I decided to pay, like I think 2 weeks after I had asked for information, and then to actually invest in the business, it did take me a little bit more. I think it took me like a month, just because I was trying to convince my husband to do the business, and he didn't want to do it. But at the end, I made the decision to start my business. And after I had joined, I told him, okay, well, I joined the business, right as my product was coming in the door, because he was asking me, like, what is this big box? I was like, yeah, that's because I did join the business I talked to you about. So, yes.
Yeah, I I was not skeptical, but because of several reasons. But I do understand what you're saying. Like, because when I joined the private Facebook group, and it looks too good to be true, like you say, like, because and that makes you think, oh my God, is this for real? But it is. It's just that like, because we don't understand how the business works, like at the beginning, that's why we don't we think, like, it's not real, but it is real, once you understand the business. So yeah, I do relate to you with that.
Well, yeah, and then something else, about that. When I reached out and they were giving me the information, and you keep getting emails and emails about the business, and I kept reading them, and I had this feeling in me. I was like, this is what I've been looking for. I want to do this, and so that's why I decided to join without my husband's approval, because I'm like, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. And sure enough, since I started, I've been loving it, and it's just done so much for me already.
Mhm. What about you, Jerusha? Were you skeptical when you saw the business opportunity? I'm just curious to see.
For me, I was already on the search for different online ventures. And when I got, you know, uh, an opportunity to look on your LinkedIn page, and signed up and looked at your website, and I think for me it just took a lot of time and a lot of thinking before I jumped in, just because again I was more skeptical than a doubter at that moment,
Mhm.
because there's so much different kinds of business ventures online that, oh, this might be a scam. I want to make sure that it's legitimate before entering in and investing, and potentially getting into something that I didn't really sign up for. And I'm very glad that was the complete opposite. So
Yeah. No, but it is good, like, that, like, you for being very young, and then taking the leap of faith for, like, to find something different, like, and for your life. So that's pretty good. Okay, so let's go to the third question.
so with our third question, what have been the biggest challenges you faced while running your online business, and how have you overcome them?
Well, I had several challenges, just because I wasn't tech savvy and I didn't do social media before this business. So it did take me a little bit to get the hang of it, especially because I didn't know how to load anything, how to create anything, because we have to be posting all the time. And that was a challenge for me because a lot of times I was trying to load something and it wouldn't do it for me, or it did it, but it wasn't the size or it wasn't what I really wanted. So it was challenging in that aspect. But then my biggest challenge I faced was going live. That was the thing. I was scared to do it. Every time I was, on my phone, and I was like, I'm gonna press the live button, and I was like, no, no, I'm not ready. So I did that several times, and I think the first time I actually went live, I pressed it, and it was just like a couple seconds, and I turned it off because I was out of breath. I couldn't talk. I was like blocked, completely blocked, and I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this. But so far, I feel like I'm doing good. Now I've been doing lives more often, at least twice a week. So it's not bad. Like anything in life, it takes practice. So I think when you do it several times enough to where you lose the fear, then you're fine. I can do it without thinking. Like I never think again, like, okay, am I ready? I just press it. I don't doubt it anymore.
Yeah. I do relate to you. Like before joining the business, like I had well, I still have the YouTube channel, though not very active on that one, but I didn't have my face on that one. It was just voice over that I was doing. And even doing, recording my voice, I was so scared to do it. And people were not looking at my face, but I was so scared. So when I joined this business, I was like you, like I don't like to be in front of the camera. Like I always like to be behind the camera. But I had to do it. And then so I started with recording videos of myself, like, and I had to do like several takes. And then eventually, I got used to see myself like in there. So it was like talking to myself. So I was used to that. But then, like going live, I was like I was scared to press that live button to go live. But eventually I did it. And I think I don't know, I think it's harder. Like I can do these lives, but I think if I do lives by myself, just pressing the button, I think I still have that fear to do it. But doing lives like this is easier. The other thing is like one thing is when you ask questions to someone else, and the other thing is like when you are on the spot, like they're asking you questions, like that's a different feeling. It's a different situation. I think now I'm much better to do that, but yeah, I was afraid, like the first time that they did it to me, like asking me questions, I was like so scared, and my heart was like beating so fast, and worrying, that I will forget something. So when I went live, I started to be okay when I was by myself and no one was viewing. So, I was okay. But then one night I went late and I said, okay, no one is gonna see my live because, everybody's sleeping, right? But then I went live and then someone came and was watching my live, and that's when, like it's a different feel too, because you have someone watching you and then interacting with you. So I kind of like all my thinking, my thoughts that I had planned for the live, it kind of like got mixed. So I was like nervous, and I wasn't focused anymore. But yeah, that was my first fear, that I had to overcome on the spot because I was live. Yeah.
Yeah.
You how
And
about
and
you,
I think
Jerry? Oh, go ahead.
something else that was holding me back is just the feeling or knowing that somebody I knew could be watching me. I was so afraid for people that I know to see me doing this. I was like, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? So that was one of my biggest concerns as well. And that's why I think it took me a little bit longer to start doing it and to feel comfortable with it.
Yeah. I cannot relate to you on that, but it was like I was okay doing it on my page, but you not doing it on my personal profile for the same reason. Yeah. But little by little, was like, okay, I'm gonna do a little bit. And then I started to post it. And then eventually, like, okay, you know what? Let's do it. And then I did it. And then now I'm okay. But it was the same fear as you, like, why they're gonna think that, like I'm doing, and that kind of stuff. But now it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing, and I enjoy what I'm doing. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
what about you, Jerusha?
I think for me, I have a lot of friends in the digital space. They do a lot of TikToks, Instagram. Some have Snapchat. So I think I am more comfortable doing it with friends if they want me to. Oh, Drusha, come over and be in this live or do this TikTok with us. But in terms of actually doing it all by myself, I'm just starting to get more comfortable with that aspect. I think for me, it's a lot of anxiety because you never know what people are thinking. It's in real time, right? So for me, it's anxiety of the fact that they're watching me and they're listening to me. I might slip up or stutter. Hopefully, I'm saying the same thing, the right things. So there's a lot of anxious thoughts. But I think ever since doing this business, there's so many platforms for you to do. There's a variety. So like what Isabel said and shared, it's true. You have to learn to practice these tools so that you kind of gain that confidence, right? That okay, this is a new thing for me. Let me do it little by little. Get the hang of it, and then I think it's also a good thing that the fear doesn't go away because it makes you have that adrenaline and keeps you excited. You anticipate what's to come, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like there's some days where even when we do the lives together, Isabel, um like some days I'm okay, and some days I'm like so nervous, like you were saying, Jerusha. And some days, like the I'm nervous, but at the same time, like, like we have to go live really fast, and then the adrenaline, like you mentioned, it comes in, and then I'm okay. But yeah, I think the fear doesn't go away. It's like one of those days are is okay, and one of those days you have that fear, like today when I was doing my life before the other one that I just did before this one. I was a little bit nervous, and I was like, okay, Sandy, calm down. But yeah, it's kind of like nervous, yeah, the anxiety that you were saying. Yeah. Okay,
I
so
think
the
I think it depends who you're doing it with too, because some people you feel comfortable with,
yeah.
and you don't mind talking because it's just like having a conversation. But when you're not very familiar with some people, then that's when I get a little bit nervous because I'm like, okay, I don't want to mess up.
Yes, that's true too. The chemistry sometimes makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fourth question. Okay, so what is your opinion of our online business community, and how do you think it can benefit other entrepreneurs?
Um, You know what I think about the community? I love our community because it is so welcoming. They're always so nice when you ask questions and when you talk to other people. Just making connections. Our community has given me some of my best friendships that I have because I didn't know so many people. I didn't know anybody in the community when I started the business, but
Yeah.
I started to know some of you through lives or just through projects. We met in a project, and I'm so happy that I'm doing this because I'm exposed to meeting people from around the world and just making those great connections. Those friendships, and our community is one of the few, because we don't have a competition. When you ask somebody for their feedback or for help, they're very honest on what they're going to tell you, their feedback and their opinion on what you should do and how you should improve in something, because they don't care, that they want you to do well. It's not like any other business out there. When you ask people for help, they don't really tell you. I mean, they may answer you, but they're not going to give you the key takeaway that you're looking for because they're afraid that you're going to do better than them. And
Yeah.
that's not the case in our community, because we're all working together, and we all want to succeed, and we all want to do good, and we're all looking for that quality time with our family. You know, we want this freedom, that flexibility, and I think we're working hand in hand towards that. So our community is simply the best for me.
Yeah, I do agree with you. You know, like our community has a different mindset compared. Like if we talk about, you know, like in our jobs, for example,
Mhm.
I've seen, you know, like a lot of people that are up there, and they see people that are just in the entry level, and they have the experience, and they can help the ones that are on the bottom, you know, like just entering by teaching them, you know, mentoring them. But they don't see it that way. They see it like, okay, you know, I had to suffer to get to where I am, so you have to do the same. So that's their mentality, which is not good, you know, like, and that's what I love about our community, because, you know, we have a different mentality of, you know, like, sharing our knowledge that we have with others, you know, because we want everybody to reach to our goals that we want, you know, like if we push each other, we motivate each other, you know, when you're down, you know, I'll give you your motivation to keep going, you know. And that's what I love the community, you know. I was first exposed to our community when I first joined the business, and that was one of the things that I really, really love. And then, you know, like the faith in the community too.
Hmm. Yes.
What about you, Jarisha? What was your experience with the community?
Yeah, both of you ladies really touched upon it, but I think one amazing thing that I've experienced thus far would be the positivity. Everyone has, you know, we all have a say, you know, that mindset of wanting to reach a goal. And because it's all equal playing field, there's this sense of, you know, not humility, but that we're all on the same team. We all have like a dream that we want to achieve, and, you know, have that financial freedom and independence. So it kind of equalizes everything. And just again, like everyone is very supportive. Anytime you ask a question, you don't feel shame even to ask. Everyone's, you know, willing to listen to you and, you know, value what you're trying to say, because maybe there would be other, you know, other business owners that have those same questions. So again, like how both of you have said, our community is really like in one accord with each other. So that's why there's so many, you know, testimonials and success stories, because we are able to encourage each other and motivate each other. And, you know, it's a domino effect, right? It
Hmm.
transfers to everyone.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Jarisha. Okay, so I think you're doing the fifth question.
yes. So for this question, Isabel, when you started this project, what was your mindset like, and what changes have you experienced in yourself since then?
Well, my mindset has changed a lot since the beginning, because at the beginning I knew I wanted a change in my life, but I wasn't really focused, you know, I wasn't really working towards that. Every day I was like, okay, this is what I want, but I wasn't doing the work for it. And I used to like waste so much time in things that were not doing anything for me, you know, because I love to be outdoors. I love to play. I love to hang out with friends and family. And so I used to waste my time just doing that, instead of like reading books or listening to motivational speakers, or just, you know, working on really what I wanted. My mind wasn't really set on what I wanted. I knew I wanted something different, but I wasn't working on it. And so now, since I started this business, I've been reading a lot. You know, I mean, like I said, the connections that I have, we're always talking about and helping each other on what we need to do better to get there. and it has really changed me personally. Like my personal growth is tremendous. Like it's very, very different since the beginning. I have a personal friend that she was like my mentor before I even started this business, because I met her in my job that I used to have in retail. But she's a little bit older, and so she made me feel like, I don't know, like that motherly approach that she had towards me, like always guiding me and helping me, like, hey, you're really good at this, you can work and reach something else, reach another milestone. We worked in the same company, but we were both, at the time we were both supervisors, and she was like, if you keep working, you can do something else. And so she was always inspiring me and motivating me to do better, because she saw potential in me. She always said, you have potential to do whatever you want, so don't let anybody hold you back. And so every time I see her now, because she follows me, she's like, I cannot believe the change that you have made since the beginning of this business. She said, just for the personal growth that you have done, you already gain a lot from your business, because maybe she said, even if you don't make any money, you already made enough just by what you have applied towards your life and all the growth that you have made in yourself. So I feel the same way. I feel like I have learned so much, and every day I feel inspired because I learn from other people, because I have other people that are showing me things, and I'm like, that feeling that you have when you learn something new is something that you want to feel every day, because it just makes you feel better. It makes you feel like you're doing something for you, for your life, and you're just not sitting, on the couch watching TV or something like that.
Yeah. Point out something, like even though, like sometimes we might have the mindset. Like for example, like I had to go through resilience in order to get to the different unions that I did. If we are not plugging, growing and learning the development, we can get sidetracked and then we can forget. So I was watching one of the posts on LinkedIn that were mentioning about that. And then, like I realized, what? Sometimes we forget what our minds about our mindset, like that we need to get, like plug in again. So we have to keep, like feeding ourselves with thinking, like positivity to keep bringing that, like resilience that we have, because sometimes we tend to forget if we are not plugged in. And that's, like what happened to me, like when I started the business, I was like going like really fast, and then I saw the rest of the train and I got kind of like not see it, but I was kind of like sad that I still have a long way to go. And then a friend of mine mentioned to me, like you have to learn patience, like in this business, because like patient with yourself and patient with the business. And just seeing that, it's not because I don't know, the resilience, because I've been through that before. But like I say, sometimes if we are not plugged in with the right stuff that we need to have to be feeding ourselves about, like keep growing and all that, and maintaining that type of mentality, we tend to forget, like it just happened to me, like in that moment, and that post from Lincoln and remind me of that moment, like we have to feed ourselves, we have to surround ourselves with positivity, people, like that talk to us, because that way, like we, even though we encounter something in our life that might be like a rock on the path, like we should be able to overcome that, and see it in a different way and continue.
Yes, yes. And they always say, surround yourself with the people that you're trying to be like. So you want to surround yourself with those already making the results that you want to have, with that open mindset, with the growth mindset. So you want to be with them, because you know that if you're with them, they're going to give you the inspiration to keep going and to get better on your business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you wanted to add something, Georgia, or?
Um, I think both of you ladies really touched upon a lot of what I was thinking, and Sandy, you kind of made me feel a bit guilty because, in a good way, I'm also learning how to be patient because sometimes we are, we live in a very busy
Mhm.
lifestyle. Everything is go, go, go. And it's
Mhm.
all the hustle and bustle, right? And sometimes we forget that, especially in this kind of business, it takes time and it takes a lot of patience. And for some people, you might not immediately see results, but it's in the consistency and the discipline that you are going to reap what you sow in. And it's about that commitment, right? Are we anchoring ourselves to why we even chose to do this business? What's our why? And I think if you have that kind of perspective, at least, moment to moment, if you stumble across an obstacle or a challenge, if you remember your why, you're able to kind of shake it off and get back into, okay, this is why I wanted to do this in the first place. And it's okay that I'm thinking and feeling this way. I'm going to embrace that and do what I know that I'm supposed to do. Right. And I think if we have that mindset on a daily basis, it's going to help us even further get those results. Right. Just wanted to throw that in.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, so we have come. Oh, do you have anything else you wanted to say before, Isabel, to the viewers?
Well, I just wanted to say, I think we already said a little bit about this, but this business is not a get rich overnight kind of thing. You have to work to get your results. But there's proof. I mean, we have 200,000 members in our community, people that are doing great, that are having great results. So we know that this business works. It's just, finding the way to make it work for you, because there's not like um, the same way for everybody. We all have our personal journeys, because we all have different backgrounds, we have different knowledge. So it depends on your mindset as well. How hard are you working on it? How many hours do you have for your business? That's how you're going to get the results. It's not like, okay, because I can't say because Sandy's getting or having great results, I'm going to have the same results. Because if I'm not putting the effort, I'm not gonna have the results, the same results she's having. And you have to be resilient. You have to have an open mind, and you have to be willing, like keep your dream. You're doing this for a dream that you have, so keep working towards that dream. Don't stop, and don't let anybody hold you back, because there's so many distractions out there. Like I said, um, sometimes I feel bad that all my family and all my friends are out playing or doing things outside, outdoors, the things that I did for years. And I can't go do them because I'm doing something for my business. But this is only temporary. Once I get my business running and I get to where I want to be, I'll be able to do those things again, because my business is running in the background 24/7. And I don't have to be doing this all day. I just have to put in at least, I will say, at least you have to put in 2 hours a day. I put in more than 2 hours a day, but it's personal. Whatever you can do, you do that. If you have free time in the morning, you run it in the morning. If you have free time at night, that's when you run the business. But the key to it is, don't stop, keep going. Even if you're moving slow, don't stop moving. Just keep working at it. The results will come eventually.
Yes. Well said, Isabel. Um, So, to all our viewers out there who were watching or who will be watching our replays, so today we touched a little bit of everything. We went through Isabel's journey and she shared her experience. So, we saw, why, what inspired her to start the online business. We talk a little bit about the skepticism between, all of us and, the people in the journey and that are doing the business. um, we also talk about the different challenges that we face sometimes, in the business, because it has its ups and downs, like anything in life. But how you can overcome those by having a strong mindset, and surrounding yourself with the positive community, that have the same goals as you. We also talk about mindset again, how we joined this business with one type of mindset and how our mindset has developed. And now we have a bigger mindset, bigger ways to be able to see all the possibilities in front of us. Like sometimes you probably have, like some people came just watching just like a little bit in here, and some people like in the middle, and now like we have a wide view of all the possibilities that we have in front of us, doing the business. So if you guys are interested to follow us and learn more about the business and about our content and the lives that we have, you can follow us on our page in the screen, for each one of us. And also, if you want to learn more um, about the business, you can register in our website, or you can send an email to Jerusha. What is your email, Jerusha?
My email is info@empowerwithjerusha.com. I repeat,
Thank
info@empowerwithjerusha.com.
Thank you. So you can register or send an email to Jerusha with our websites on the screen with your name and email address, and you will receive an invitation to the 90 minutes free webinar, the same that webinar that we have all seen, where you will hear more about the business plan that we have and also about the testimonials of the business owners in the community. So we want to thank all the viewers today that were watching the live, and for those watching the replay, and of course to our special guest today, Isabel, for sharing her time with us today and sharing her journey in the business. Thank you so much, Isabel.
Thank you so much for having me today. I was happy to be here.
Thank you. And so until the next episode of the Empower Biz Life. Bye, everyone. Good night, good
Bye.
evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world.